Okay, we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the GetGrowing weekly work session with GetOiling. Today, we are joined by Colin and Jess. Hi, guys.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Glad you're here. I'm Coach Ashley. If you're brand new, we are so thrilled to have you here. And if you are someone who's been around for a while, you know we love you. Today, we are doing a special session where we are going to go deep dive into your websites and have a design look. And oh, we've got Jess here, and Jess can help with that too. And Colin's a genius on the tech stuff. We're going to have some fun, you guys, today. Come on and tell us where you're coming in from in the chat. Do you have crazy weather like I do here today? It was like 60 degrees yesterday. I woke up to snow today. Wild, man. Hope you all are doing well. And we are just, again, so excited to have you here today. So we are going to do 5 website reviews. There's a couple of quick things that I wanted to show you guys because Greg just ran off to the chiropractor. So I wanted to show you guys a couple of cool updates to the system. One of them is in our custom pages. And actually, let me just go ahead and show you. I think I'm in the Jane account. Let me make sure I'm in the Jane account before I do this. No, I'm not. Hold on. All right. So by the way, if you came here today and you are looking for help, if you're looking for one-on-one, I need my questions answered, we are here. So go to the Q&A and put your questions in the chat, or not the chat, sorry, in the Q&A. We might miss them in the chat. Words today, Ashley. Okay. So here's where you can find our updates. There is this little red bubble that will show up when we have something new to share with you about the platform. So a couple of new things here, and you can get the latest post to your inbox if you click here. We have a new interface for scheduling. So if you're going to schedule a blog post or an email or something like that, there is a much nicer way to interact with that now. I'm thrilled about it. I think you guys are too. If you guys have seen it already and you've used it, quick show of hands if you like it better, let us know. Awesome. We also have a really cool page editor improvement. This is really cool if you're on a custom page and you want to know what device that section is going to show up on, you can actually see that right here. So you can actually edit the page background settings. If you go and you search for page background editor or page background settings in our help, I think you'll be able to find a link there. We also have, whoa, where is that going? This is weird. I don't know why I just did that. Okay. Like I was telling them at the start of the call, this has been a fun tech week for me. Like Mercury in retrograde, is it? Full moon? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, we actually did, Jess and I collaborated on a custom page backgrounds, section backgrounds that you could also find on our YouTube channel if you want to see a walkthrough of how to do that on a Mac and a PC. We made sure to cover both of those topics. And so you'll see more in depth on that if you are getting into making your pages look cool, which is what we're going to be getting into, I think, for a lot of you guys here today. So let's go see who's in the chat. We've got what, upper 80s in Arizona? I need to go to you. Nebraska, Ontario, Lowville, New York. I think, I don't know where Lowville is. Forgive me. I'm still kind of new here. I'm way out in the Western Catskills. So a little bit here, but probably nowhere near as much as where you are. I think Syracuse and like up north, like Canada, New York, it was like getting snow for real today. Let's see. Surrey, BC, Arizona, UK, Minnesota. Yes, Colin is our resident GetOiling Canadian. He's in BC as well. Awesome, northeast of Syracuse. Yeah, you're almost to Canada, I think, right? I don't know. Anyway, good to see you guys here today, guys. So the topic today is really live work. So we're going to be getting together. I'm going to have 5 folks who signed up for a live website review today. Today's going to be a great opportunity for you to see GetOiling in action, get some inspiration, insights, and instruction. You never know what you're going to learn here when we do this. Last week, we all learned together how to make a sway show up bigger. And that was really cool. So even we learn things sometimes when we're doing this. So without further ado, let's get into our website reviews. I'm going to call you guys out. Let me go ahead and lower hands here, and we can get this show on the road. Again, if you came here today needing specific help, please put that into the Q&A. And Jess and Colin, like, unmute yourselves, talk over me, like, say what you want to, like, free for all today, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and open up here we go, website reviews. So Bonita, are you here? Bonita Shelby, raise your hand for me, please. And I'll pull you out to do a review. There you are. Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Oh, good. Thank you.
I'm excited to take a look at your site. Tell me a little bit about what you would like some feedback on today.
Well, I know it needs some cosmetic updates, and
Okay.
I will probably have someone help me to do some of the details, but I know just looking at it, they're going to be done in phases, but just looking at it cosmetically is the first step.
Okay. Excellent. Do you have a homepage on the other side of this one, or is this the main page that here, let me see. I may be able to
That
answer this
is
question with a
it,
click.
I think. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the homepage. Okay.
Okay. So a couple of quick things. The first one, I would highly recommend that for your site logo, that's this one that shows up right here. And when you're logged in, you're going to find that right over here under Customize My Site. When you scroll down, that's this site logo, this one right here. So for what you put here, which is also what shows up here, a couple of things I recommend. Number one, I recommend you keep it very simple. And not like basically as much of a text logo as possible. If you do have an element, it looks like you've got some lavender here. That's like, you can have it, but I would caution against getting too busy for the site logo. Where you have your logo showing up elsewhere on your site, you can have as much going on as you want to. But do you see here on this page where there's, it's kind of sitting over this parsley, and it's kind of creating a little bit of busyness? That's my first recommendation is that we keep it simple. So you can see, like for Jane, it's a text logo. It's got her little thing here. I think if we were to go over to, let's say, look at Jackie's, for instance, we look at hers a lot. This is just her, it's her name. It's got a little symbol there. And then one other thing is to try to have a transparent background. And that's going to allow it to sort of float over, kind of like you see the Learn and the Site menu here do. It looks good once you scroll down a bit and it's all white there. But if you want it to look just as good over the different themes that we have, I recommend that you make it a transparent background in addition. So there's two things. Tell me a little bit about your sort of your business on the whole. Are you focusing on bringing a certain type of person to you for Young Living? Do you have other things that you offer? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, actually, I decided that I'm going to lead with the Zyto Insights body scan.
Wonderful.
So I need to change my pop-up to focus on that, I guess, rather than just getting the, getting them on my email list to get my, with the campaigns. I also do a weekly blog, Wellness Wednesday, and I send that out by email. So those are two ways that I kind of reach out.
Wonderful. Okay. So what I would recommend that you do is to have a homepage, a custom homepage, where you can offer that scan on the front page. So let me show you, and I'll go back over to Jackie's to give you an example and some inspiration here. What we want to do is have a message straight to our person, and I can tell you have really honed in on, going back to you, in your about section. I noticed you've really honed in on who you're speaking to. I think you know your person really well. So what I would recommend that you do is speak straight to their heart. A message to them that's going to be very direct, right? Like, hey, I know you, and I'm going to help you with this thing. And then you offer that scan. And so what you would want to do here is you could click off to maybe a scheduling page, right? I don't know how you're conducting your scheduling for those scans currently, or this could simply just have #contact, where it would pop up your contact form. And that way that person can reach out to you and say, hey, you said you offered a scan. I'm interested in what that is. So that way you can, put yourself out here out front, the message that you have to share, and then give them a place to go first so that you are leading with that conversation. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. And I also
Wonderful.
like how they have the links here, join the community, read my blog, upcoming events. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so all you would need to do, and this was done in Canva really simply. So you would just create, I think it's the logo setting in Canva. It's 500 by 500. You put, because you already have a community, you already have a blog, and you may have events as well, or you could have a call to action here for someone to book a call with you, or to book a scan with you, or something like that. So I would, before coming in and trying to make something like this, I would get, maybe even sketch it out on a piece of paper. I want it to be like this, and I want to have this here, and I want to have this there and that there, and then write out everything that you know what you want to say. Right? Because I think one of the most difficult things in trying to embark upon creating a custom homepage like this is trying to do the thinking of the words and the thinking of the tech at the same time, or the thinking of the creative and the thinking of the tech at the same time. And that's it's a recipe for overwhelm and brain fry. So another thing that you could do, because you have a compelling story to share. And this is what I've done on Jackie's site here. She has sort of a quick beginning of her story, but then it goes off to a custom page that is only about her story. So that, her whole homepage isn't about her, it's about them. But then she's like, hey, if you want to learn more about me, here's where you can go. And she's got a whole story told here. And so you might consider, and we've got the same sort of menu here, like you saw on the first page. And of course, she's got an option to book a call with her. We've got a Calendly attached to her page. But I would highly recommend, if you have a story like yours, that you give it the space that it deserves on an about page, where you can really kind of pull it out into these spots. And I think Jackie's is a really great example of that in terms of how it's formatted, right? Where you have an impactful sentence that you want to share. You create a header section, right? This is here. You know what? Let's look at this real quick. I'll show you in Jane's account. If we were to create this in your custom pages, we'll just say we're going to create a blank page. You could also start from one of the templates here really simply. But you would just put a header. I use this thin header here one all the time. You can give it a background color if you want to give it a background color. Right? And then you give it, give the text the color that you want. And then you say the sentence, right? Just have it there as a striking piece of your story. So that's it. When you have everything written out already and you know how you want to show up and speak, it actually kind of makes it fun to come through and let them know. And then of course you even have done some of this formatting in your story here already. So yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's real helpful. Thank you.
Absolutely. And one other thing that I would share, because I can tell it looks like you have copied and pasted from another document here. Do you see how you can see the difference between the white and then this sort of grayish color background?
Yeah.
Let me show you how we can get around that. I think I have in Jane's, okay, my story and photo. This is where yours is. So what we do over here is we take our text that we know that we want to put here from wherever it came from. And then right here, where you see the A and the 3 dots, we click this. And then there's this little tool right here that says paste plain text. You paste
Ah,
whatever you want to say in there, and that's going to just import all the text that you want. And it's not going to keep that white background behind the text.
I wondered what that was for. Okay.
Yep. Little things, little things. Well, I'm proud of your progress. And what are your plans next for your site?
Well, first thing I'm going to do is, make the change on this here with the logo, because that's, basically the logo that was made for me. And so you're basically saying, just pick off the words, divine health choices and make it a text and to make the background transparent. Is that what
That's
you're
right.
saying?
That's
And I
right.
can do that in Canva?
Yes, ma'am.
I can do that. Okay. Okay. Well, that's
Yep.
what the first thing that I'll do.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I hope you'll come back again and show us your progress.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, Bonita. Okay. Let's see who is next. All right, Lori Cranenberg. You hear Lori? Raise your hand for me. There you are. Hello. Oh, allow to talk. Come on. There we are.
Okay.
Hi, Lori. Hi. How's it going?
All right.
All right. So let's talk about your site. What are you interested in learning more about or getting a review on?
So like the nuts and bolts are there. There's a few pages still in development, but it just doesn't feel eye-catching, pretty. It's just kind of functional.
Okay. Okay.
And I have no idea how to do any of that.
I mean, this looks good. I don't know, you guys, why don't we let Lori know in the chat that she's done an amazing job, please? Lori, this is really nice. So if you wanted to zhuzh it up a bit, what you can do is in Canva, there's a template called blog banner. And if you search for blog banner, it'll populate that for you. It's giant. It's really big. It'll go across our sections pretty well. What I would do is take your brand colors and see if you can find images. I mean, you've done that here with this big, beautiful purple, like mountain stars. Like, this is great. If you wanted to, you could create some light background elements. Another option that you could do is like I showed you a moment ago with Jackie's site, that thin header, where you can, maybe put life coaching here instead of having it right here, right? But then have it be like, here, this is solid purple, or it's got some textured background or something like that. And the life coaching is in white on top of a dark background or something like that to break things up visually. Let me show you a couple of examples of what that can look like. I've shown, let me see.
That was the thin header, right? That you were
thin
showing
header. Yeah. So like where you see purple here on Jackie's, that's thin header. This is a Canva background where you see this, these stripes. I think this is an element, like a pinstripe element. And then this actually, if you look at it closely, this is sort of like a canvas with sort of a watercolor wash over it. And you can adjust the transparency in Canva and kind of play around so that you just want to make sure that it's not too saturated in color, unless that's, really what you want to do. Sometimes bold is really where you want to go. But let me give you one more example. Megan's is really pretty. She really likes the barnwood background. Jess made this really cool. Jess, I got to get with you to learn how you did this. This, sort of graphic section here with a rectangle. And then I think if I go over to her product page, yeah. So here, there is that same kind of, canvas color there. And that's a thin header. There's the same well, actually, no, that's different. This is a sort of a chevron pattern. And that's that same canvas pattern, except it's like the green color. So yeah, so I mean, you can just play around with that. Canva is really the tool that you want to use for that, unless of course you just want to use our page editor and just swap out the color of a section. And I think that works really well for headers.
Okay.
This is great. You've done a really good job.
It just felt like it was like the same thing over and over. And so I was like, okay, is that, okay, it's not my favorite page. This was just kind of, I needed something that was functional.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like you're sort of at next level, but I don't know. I feel like we should all really kind of applaud and commend you for having done this, because now you're just at the point of like putting the flourishes on. Like you built the house. Have fun decorating. This is great. Oh, I love this turtle. And what a great, oh, this is good. Yeah, see here again, I would take like that blue Ula color and do the thin header and have
Yeah.
what is Ula on it, right?
Yeah, I love that idea because I couldn't figure out how to make it just a bit more color, a little bit more eye popping. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, just get into Canva and play around with that blog header section, and look at there's sort of reduce transparency filter that can allow you to take an image and really kind of fade it out as much as you want to. I got Tanya is an ULA coach as well, and we've done this recently. Like sometimes having something really bold like this water with white text over the top works really well, right? And then you can do like a parallax background. This is a Canva image that is very sort of, where the transparency is reduced a great deal, right?
Okay.
And then of course you can create little elements on your site. Again, it's all Canva to make that work. And you can also add like color layers, like this is sort of a blue color over her sand, that kind of thing. So yeah,
Right.
I think you are doing amazing work. So I'm really glad that you have shared this with us today. Is there any other feedback that you'd like? I mean, or is it really just like, I want to make it prettier? Because I mean, honestly, looking at what you've got, that's the only thing I would do is just
pretty much that was
it.
I just couldn't figure out how to make it a little bit more eye-catching, prettier. And the other question I had on the menu bar, my menu items, everything else, I can just click on that menu item and it takes you there. But the home one, for some reason, I have this drop down and I'm like, it irritates me because it's not the same as the other ones.
I know. Sorry. This is the way, so, okay. What I would consider doing here, if that's like, if that bothers you, if you want to do like no drop down menus at all, unfortunately, this is the only way that we're able to do this at this point, just because of the way the software is set up, so that you need to have like, this needs to be titled something, but then in order for you to have the homepage or have a page be a homepage, it needs to be sort of a subset of that we can say, okay, this is home. The way that I've seen this done and have done this is to have main menu or main or something like that. And that could be home and about, right? And then you've got, other menus that you can use dynamically. But unfortunately, for home right now, as it is right now, this is the only way.
Okay, so I'm not doing something wrong.
No, you're not. You're not.
Okay.
It's a little style nitpick that I've definitely seen a lot. but as it stands right now, that's the only way we can do it. And honestly, our site is not the only place I've seen this phenomenon, for what it's worth.
Okay. And I had one last question, if I could.
Yeah.
And it's just whether or not this functionality exists or not. I've seen on some websites so I don't have lead magnets built in here yet. I'm working on that over the weekend, but I've seen some sites where you could have your lead magnet as like an inline form. So like as you're scrolling down, it just comes across the form with like the graphic and give me your information, here you go. And then I haven't found that anywhere in here. I've only found it as like a pop-up option. Is there an inline option in GetOiling or no?
Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we have that right now on the page builder. I think our only inline is going to be, or like on the page is in our landing pages feature. Am I right?
Yeah.
Colin?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay. Wish list.
But right. you can offer it anywhere, right? Again, like, do that thin header and say, I got a guide to blah, 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 click here, and it could pop up or go somewhere else, right? but yeah, that we don't have inline forms on the page yet.
Okay. All right. Well, that was
Thank
all
you
my
so much
questions.
for
Thank
sharing with
you.
us again. You've done a beautiful job. Really, really good job here, Lori. Shout out to Lori, you guys in the chat. Let her know she's done awesome, because she's done awesome. This is excellent. All right, Paula Henry, are you here? Raise your hand for me. There you are. Hello, Paula.
Hello,
How are you?
I am well.
Wonderful. All right, let's talk about your site. What kind of feedback are you looking for today?
Well, I've already written down some ideas of things to change on mine. I view my website as dynamic, and so there are certainly some things I'll be adding over time. My biggest challenge is that I have some people who have said, well, how do I subscribe to just your blog? And I don't know how to do that. So that was the landing page for the lead magnet. So, I mean, I can definitely see that putting in some more color in the background and things would be beneficial. So
okay,
how do you go about, would people be able to subscribe to my blog as opposed to signing up for a lead magnet?
So the same way that you would create an opportunity for somebody to sign up for a lead magnet, and it could actually be even simpler. It's a funnel. So I would just use a simple landing page, maybe make an image in Canva that says subscribe to my blog or something like that. Or get on the list or something to that effect. And actually, I think I may have an example of this actively on Tanya's website right now. Let me see. Yep, get on the list. So this is to get on her updates list for her email and her blog. And when you click it, she actually has it on her homepage. So she has lead magnets that'll go off elsewhere, right? But right here, this is where people can get this, right? So
is there a way to do a landing page on the blog page or no?
Not just yet, not just yet.
Okay, but, so I'm not missing it. Good.
Correct. Yeah, correct. Right. But so you could do this, and this is on the home page, right? This is one option. And there's no wrong way to do this. If you had a lead magnet offer, you could have that elsewhere on the page and not utilize it as a pop-up. In most cases, often, just kind of depending on your site, but in a lot of cases, I see an offer like this on a landing page. So you just create a landing page with, a nice little image like this, a message that says, hey, don't miss any of my blog posts and my updates. I'll send something out to you via email X number of times a week, and I'll share things with you that I don't even say on the blog. Put your email in here and I'll give it to you, right? Gotcha. And then you just want that to redirect to ideally to a thank you page that tells them to go check their email right now, because you just collected an email address and you want to make sure that they got your email, and we'll continue opening them. And that'll make sure they keep getting delivered. So I would create a separate landing page for it unless you actually want it to be on your homepage.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
So when adding the background, you said that you do it in Canva. I'm a details person. I use Canva a lot. I'm just trying to figure out how I would do that. Do you use the blog banner format, or how do you get it to go? So you use that for all of the sections that you want to set up with a background, correct?
Yep. So I go and I open up blog banner. I go to create design, sorry. And I say blog banner. And then from here, it's just a matter of clicking background, finding patterns that I like.
Yep.
I guess that one could be interesting, right?
Sure.
There you go. If you're talking about marine plastics, I mean, you could do this, right? Change the color to blue. What I might do, because this is quite bold and busy, is if you really loved this, I don't particularly love this. I don't imagine you do either.
No.
But just to kind of keep with the example here, if I click elements and I'm going to grab this, I'm going to grab this one, I'm going to cover the entire document with it. And so this is, and I'm going to make it white because I ultimately want to lighten what we're doing here. So I'm going to go white, and then I'm going to hit this transparency.
Oh,
right?
that's super cool. Yeah.
So then you download this, and then when you are in your page editor, you just upload that image to the background of your section. So if I had, book a call with Jane, actually, this is actually a call booking page, but you can see that there's an image in here.
Yep.
Right. So you would upload it to there just the same, where you would come right here and add an image of your choosing. So you could actually upload that. And the cool thing is, if you create a whole bunch, so just go into Canva and just make a bunch of different ones that you like.
Yep.
And then when you're over here, when you hit this, you can actually select multiple files at a time and upload them all. So you can get like a bunch of them in, so that you can play around with different ones in your site.
Awesome. Yeah, that will add a lot more interest to this. Yep, I can definitely see that.
One more thing right here, you see where it says custom homepage. You're going to want to swap out, when you go to your settings on that page, the title bar text, because right now your title bar text for this page right here says custom homepage. You want to swap that out to what you want them to see.
Got it. And that was title text?
That is, title bar text right here in page settings. Awesome.
Yeah, sometimes it's these little things.
Yeah, definitely. It takes some practice and poking around with. I have never really done design before we started doing design here. So you could do this. You can do this if my high red, blue, and patient distracted brain can do this, I believe anybody can, honestly.
Well, I'm a red green, so it's sometimes in the details. It's like, where do I get that? So excellent. So good to know that I'm not missing anything about the inability to put a landing page on the blog page, which is fine. And
it's on our wish list.
I understand. I understand that wish list is very comprehensive. So only so many hours in the day. But always these calls are fascinating because I learned from going through other people's websites as well. I liked the link that you had for read more on Jackie's site, I believe. So it had a quick snippet and then to go to another page for more.
Yeah. And that's something I use the same philosophy there in the My Story and Photo. So I'll just have a couple of sentences and then it'll move over. Actually, I can show you guys an example from, I did this on Tanya's recently. So on Tanya's site, she's got her blog, and then down here, it's a blurb of her story, right? But we've got a read more link that goes to a whole story page about her. And of course, on this page, she's offering a lead magnet, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So definitely create those rabbit trails for people, because we are psychologically inclined to click things. Tell me half of a story, I want to click to read the rest of it, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Did you have any other questions?
Nope, not at this point. But
Excellent.
It would be nice in a couple months to come back and say, so what do you think now?
Yeah, please do. Absolutely do. Share in our GetOiling Facebook group. We can do this all the time. Excited to have you here, and thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, Kim Bogan, are you here? Hi, you're here. Welcome.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going.
It's going. Okay.
Got 2.5 pages of notes right now.
Oh, wow. All right. Got some ideas. All right. Tell me what kind of feedback you would like on your site today.
Part of it is just organization. I went through the Martha's Go for Gold a couple years, when it first kicked off, and I have done, I was like, all the things. And then I kind of slacked off, and I'm trying to get back into all the things. And it just seems like it's all over the place, and I'm trying to structure it back down.
Okay.
So I know I want to recreate the homepage, I'm actually narrowed down where I'm actually, I'm in a place now where I can see myself blogging now, where back then I'm like, okay, what am I going to blog about? So I've definitely narrowed my audience a lot more to be able to do that better.
Mm-hmm.
So I know I need to do the homepage. I've been playing with my freebie. So I did a custom page for like my thank you page, or like I'll have the thank you email or pop up, but then instead of it giving them like a PDF, be like a custom homepage or
Oh, cool.
not custom home, custom page, or to get their freebie, I guess.
Okay. Here, let's
So
find
I'm
that.
just kind of playing with that. It's the ultimate mental health down at the bottom.
Okay.
But I've done so much since then. It's like, okay, trying to reorganize because everything is all over the place right now. I'm just trying to get back into clarifying things.
Okay, great. So is this a PDF that you're giving away?
It is a PDF. So they would go to, I guess this would come up, whether this is the link in their email, their campaign one email, it would send them here, but then they can print it from here.
Uh-huh. I love it. This is pretty. Did you do this in Canva? Great job.
I did. I found another girl, just kind of a YouTube scroll hole, and found another girl who did a lot of training on freebies. Not that Martha doesn't do a great job, but hers was, okay, have a title page, have a resources page at the end, include a product if you want in your freebie as another touch point, but then trying to come back and work that back into GetOiling and all that is, and the landing pages and all of that.
Got you. Squirrel holes, lots of squirrel holes.
Well,
Okay.
and as you can see, it's a squirrel thing. I mean, that's kind of
I
my,
love it.
I had an abusive first marriage. I deal with squirrels. Both of my two youngest children are squirrels. So it's the emotionally healing that comes from that, as well as dealing with all the squirrels that you have to deal with at the same time. And yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. I think that when we feel sort of pulled all over the place, and it's easy to if we don't have a clear plan, when we feel all over the place about how we're using this system, it's really important to come back to the plan or make one if we don't have one. And the plan needs to revolve around how you are signing people up into Young Living right now, right? Or if you're not, how you can be with what you have right now. So that means, where are you meeting people? How are you communicating with them? What are you sharing with them? And then use what we have here to very simply move them in that direction. So I'll show you, Colette Polonon is one of my clients, and we have a placeholder page for her right now. So this isn't her final homepage. Her homepage is going to be something totally different from this. But what we've created is something that for right now supports the way she's running her Young Living business, which is to say she is, and if maybe you've seen her recently on the weekly work session, she trained on her networking strategy. Like she does BNI and everything's virtual right now. So you can go to like 7 of them. And so she is meeting people over and over and over and over all week who are actively, because they know that she's the oil lady, they want to know about oils. So she wanted to be able to say, hey, go to my website and look for where it says click here to learn about essential oils and go there. And then we just created a real simple page that has a video that she didn't have to make, and then an email campaign from Grow Workspace that she didn't have to write, right? So that she can say, here's a tool that she can insert in the plan, the process that she already has that can help her save time and be more effective and not drop the ball. So I would in terms of to mitigate the squirreling, I would start with how am I getting people started, or how am I starting conversations, and then use this as a facilitation tool as opposed to trying to invent something wholly new with it. Does that make sense?
It does. But then again, that's also where I not scroll hole, but I hyper focus and then trying to pull myself back out, or but there's all of these ideas. So trying to focus is a really strong issue that I have in order to, to get that outline, go, okay, because I'm, like, okay, here's this, but then I'm like, but how does that feed into this? I'm like, no, just do the one thing. And that's what I struggle with, narrowing it down. So I get that one linear thing. Okay, let me get this first and then build off of it. So that's kind of my struggle point right now, is getting that initial ABC, because I've not really enrolled very many. So it's trying to get back in there. I've had a lot of, on our group calls within oiling, crossline, okay, that was touching. Thank you for sharing. Obviously my story is meaning something. It's just a matter of getting it outside of the oil community and then being able to share from there.
Okay. Okay. And so would you say that your sort of oily perspective, for lack of a better term, that might be the best term, your sort of oily perspective is around mental well-being?
Right. It's the
Okay.
mental health. It's the emotional and the mental health side of it. Yes, that's helped us stay helped us stay healthy over the last 5, almost 6 years. But I've seen more of the benefits emotionally and mentally. So it's that side of things that I'm trying to attach myself to.
Okay, cool. So here's what you do then. If you want to really leverage your story, then what you want to do is 2 pages, just 2, your homepage and an about page. We'll go and for just to look at it again, let's look at Jackie's. All you need to do to create a page like Jackie's is to know what you want to say to the person who arrives there. And this can always be editable. So just make it a thing. For now, you can just, offer that PDF that you have, describe it here. And then in the page settings, have it be the pop-up, offer it. You've got your lead magnet. That's done, right? And then because you're going to be blogging, you go ahead and put this here and let that hold your feet to the fire that you are in fact going to be blogging on a continuous basis. And then do you have a lead group?
I do. I've got like 4 people. So that's where, that's the other part of my struggle is, I'm part of the squirrels and part of the emotional healing is not worrying about what everybody else thinks. So it's trying to get it shared on Facebook or on Facebook in order to get more visible as well.
Yeah. So
go
ahead
got
and
our oily lead, but then which is plenty big. That's our team group for educational, but then I've got only like the 3 or 4 people as of right now in my lead dedicated to this.
Got you. Well, that's great. That's totally fine. I mean, 4 is a starting number, and usually the first 4 people who say yes to something are the people who stick around the longest, bring more people in. I mean, those tend to be anchors for your community. So love on them, bless them, and you guys link arms and
they're conversational people that have come in, but they're ones that I'm still trying to get, email to and 3 down of the campaign for when you get the freebie and all of that.
Don't worry about it. You're going to get all of this figured out, and it's not going to be all at once, and it never is, and that's okay. But what I would say, just to give you peace of mind of knowing, I have things in place that give people some information that I don't have to repeat myself, and it gives me visibility so that I can be pointing to that thing for people to look at, so that they can read the blog, so that they can join the group, right? So have your message up here, up top. It doesn't have to be a picture of you like Jackie's done here, but it can be, or it could, be whatever you want. And then have a few options here. This is in right here. If we were to go to 3-column header, 3-column.
Well, I think that's what I asked in the group, was how to make that 2 instead of 3. Like I removed the middle picture, but now there's that blank space that it doesn't flow in.
Got you. So if you just want 2, then so we have the 3 here, and there's also there's 2 columns here, or 4 columns with 2 headers, where you can actually have 2 sets of image and text and button. You could use this one right here. But if you wanted 2 larger photos, then go over to photos, and there's a 2 photo strip.
Okay.
So what I would do is, and I think that the layout of the 3 looks really nice on a desktop. I don't think that it really matters so much on smaller devices, but just think about, what do I have that I can connect people to right now? And for you right now, you have a lead group, you have a blog, And you have a list, right? You should be building a list of people who want your blog updates. So like I mentioned earlier, make a real simple sign up for the blog updates, make that the thing that goes here, make the blog go here, make your lead group go here. And now you've got the page, and then you have a little excerpt about you. And here, this takes me to the second thing you should do, right? First is to get yourself a nice simple page like this, right? You've already got a lead magnet, so this section is taken care of. You already have all of these things with the exception of just simply making a subscribe to my blog updates landing page that you offer. And then of course, when you blog, you filter your contacts for the blog tag and then email a link about the blog to them. But then down here, you take a blurb of your about section, your story. And then you have it point off to a page where you tell the whole thing, so that you actually have a place on your site where that story is showing up and it's doing the heavy lifting that it needs to be doing for you. And of course, the one thing, like, and this is where I think a lot of us have sort of an aha moment, is that we create our homepage and we think that it is supposed to be, our mirror to the world of ourselves. When in fact, what this really does need to be is, hey, you person who is here paying attention to what I'm saying right now, I'm here for you. Here's what I do for you. And then you do offer on the page, and it could be right underneath here. Or you could have it down at the bottom. It's up to you. You give them a little bit so that they can say, yeah, I want to learn more. And then they can go over there and they can get that whole story. I would actually say for you, I would consider putting your about section underneath your top section. Because up here, you should be saying, I help moms blank bat signal, right? Talk about what it is that you help them do, that type of mom. And then have a little blurb about yourself and your background story as it pertains to that as the very next thing. So that if they're like, oh, whoa, I feel seen, then they can say, okay, let me learn more about this person who sees me, right? And then of course, again, keep these options. Like when you create this section, you could copy it to another page on your site, right? So if you go to Jackie's about page,
this footer type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do that as a footer for the page.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when you go to Jackie's about page, you read through her story and she offers these options here again. So you can go off to wherever you want to go.
Okay. And I like the way she broke up her story too, because I've started writing mine and just trying to give, the number of trainings and stuff on giving your stories is give them those pain points and the relatables and the Me Too's. And by the time I get down, I'm like, ooh, okay, I've got a page and a half, or more. So I like the idea of, because that can be a lot to read, is breaking that up into the chunks with the graphics. Here's a picture of my kids, here's me and the husband, here's whatever.
Yep. This is what Tanya has done here as well.
I had to laugh at military life because I'm also a brat and a vet. So yeah, I just like all the things.
Yep, absolutely. I think you guys would get along great if you guys don't know each other already. Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Definitely.
Do you have any other questions?
No, I guess a lot of it is just getting completely disconnected from online and writing down a plan and then going and doing it. So
yeah, you can
actually trying to accomplish instead of all of the things.
Yeah, you could really erase all of the overwhelm with like where tech concerns and feel totally empowered if you come in with a plan and you only work the plan, because there are a million things you can do with us. There's so many different things you can do. Come in with a plan and get it done, and then go make another plan and get it done.
Right.
And it's just
even just with that, incredible. I'm going, okay, the lead magnet. Well, then there's the email campaign that goes with the lead magnet. And I've got email 1 done, but not 2 and 3, and it's.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, because when somebody opts in right now, like you put a lead magnet up on your site and you're not doing anything anywhere with it, and somebody opts in for it tomorrow, just email them and be like, hey, this is Kim. I'm really excited that you found what I made for you. This is actually me and not automation. Let me know what you think about it, and actually just start a relationship with that person. In the beginning, that's like, you're not going to like have some sort of like, total inundation of like 100 people, unfortunately. You're going to have like 100 people showing up and opting in for this. So you don't need to have it all built, literally just shoot an email back to them. And as you're engaging in that active, real, I am doing this in real life activity of your business, that's going to tell you exactly what you need to put into an email, right? Because what we put into automation needs to be the stuff that we would have done or said anyway, right?
Right. Like I said, I've got the first email done. It's just me also fighting that done is better than perfect. So
I hear you.
that is
I
a
hear
huge
you.
struggle point.
That is,
But I don't have this.
Yeah, no, that is a beast to slay for sure, but you're doing it. You're getting this done. Thank you for joining us, Kim.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ashley.
Of course, take care. All right, last but not least, Misty. I am excited to look at your site today. Would you raise your hand for me, please, if you're here, Misty? I don't see you. Well, if you show up, let us know. And let me see. Yeah, if I don't have you coming out here, we're going to go ahead and just come into the Q&A. So let me see. Oh, okay, Susie, let's talk. I love how on like just Johnny on the spot you are about this right here. So, all right. Susie, raise your hand for me, please, so I can allow you to talk, and we'll look at yours real quick, and then we'll pop over into our Q&A. Oops. Susie, I lost you. Sorry. There you are. All right. My Zoom is going a little nuts today. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, hi, I'm good, thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. What would you like any kind of review on your site today?
Just have a quick look and tell me if you think it looks messy. And what I'd really love to do is right at the bottom of this homepage here, the footer, I'm trying to change that and I can't find anywhere to change it. Right at the very bottom, that footer bit there, I want to change
this
that.
footer.
Yeah, and I don't know, I can't find. I've looked in all the settings, I've looked everywhere.
Okay, well, first let's talk about that real quick.
Okay.
So where you want to go is right down here. Right down here, any page that you're on our site, you want to look for that little question mark. Okay, here, let me move this. Okay, you want to look for your little question mark. I'm still in Kim's site, but do you see this little guy right here? Yeah. Click him, search footer, custom footers. Yeah. And this article will walk you through exactly what to do. And we also have a recent video on our YouTube channel about creating a custom footer. So if you search for footer and do that on our YouTube channel, you'll see a walkthrough video of that as well. We also, importantly, if we go to pages here, let's just pretend I was creating a footer page for Kim, what we would do is we would go to create page, and there's actually a page footer template that you can use. So if you follow the recent video, that'll walk you through the steps of getting all of that done and then how to plug it up on your site. So it's actually pretty simple to get done. Let me get back over to your site. Okay, so one thing I would encourage you to do on this section is to add just a touch of padding to the background on the top, because it's quite close right here. And I think it would give just a little bit of visual balance to just shift everything down just a tiny bit.
Okay, thank you.
So there's that. I would do that in this section as well. I think this is nice. I think you've done a really nice job here.
You don't think it's too messy? All the ones we saw earlier, I love the fact that they were like more white and more simple. Okay. I think I've been messing around with this for so many months now. It's just like looking a mess.
I don't think that it's messy. I think that there is something to be said for using black or white text and then maybe alternating textures or colors on backgrounds. Or if you're going to use colored text, sticking to one color for text, and then play around with bold or what have you. That's really it. I mean, it's colorful. It's colors that you like. It's got these adorable little hearts. I love those hearts. Yeah. I would encourage you, I'm not sure this is, okay, this is an image that you've created. I would encourage you to consider using a less scripted font for your headers. because it can be a little, and maybe this is why you're concerned about busyness. It can be a little taxing or tiring on the eyes and the brain to try to read scripted font for more than, I don't know what fraction of a second. But we want people to be able to really clearly, easily, quickly be able to read and assimilate so that they can do something with it, right?
Okay, thank you.
That's really it. That's really it. I think the hearts are sweet, and I think that it's in keeping with your personality and the way you serve people. This feels very authentic to you. Yeah, I mean, really, the only suggestions I would make is just to use the padding to give a little bit of space on the top of these sections, and then consider again in maybe here and here. There's just a lot of cursive happening, and I think it would be more effective for you to use. And I'm not a designer, so Jess, what's the font called that's straight up and down and normal and not scripty?
I mean, my bat signal is all about bereavement, hence all the little hearts, and it's such a difficult topic. It's I don't want it to be unhappy, or sad, but at the same time, I don't want it to be too bright. And it's just really tough to try and get that middle ground where I don't want it to be seen that I'm so all happy and fantastic, which I am, but it's a bereavement site. It's to help people bereaved, and I just can't seem to get. I don't know. To me, it's just not quite right yet. But I don't know what to do to make it right.
I think if we take, I think with the exception of the brightness of the blue, I think that the color palette here is really doing what you're setting out to do. I would maybe consider using a dark gray and Jess, you were gonna tell us what kind of font it is. Is it serif? Is it like what is the font style we're looking for here, please?
Yeah, a serif is an easy to read website font.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dancing script or something it's called.
Okay, yeah, so that's like more of a script font. So if you perhaps switch this type of text over to maybe a dark gray, so not a black, which is a bit harsher, but like a nice dark gray and a serif font, that'll make it more legible. It's still, there's a softness to it. And I think that maybe a dark gray where you have this brighter blue might help to further soften this, because it feels sweet. What you're getting across here, it feels sweet, it feels welcoming, but also it's muted, right? And in a way that it should be, to be sensitive to the emotions that you are helping people guide themselves through. So yeah, no, you're doing a wonderful job.
Lovely, thank you.
Thank you, Susie. I'm glad you could come out and share with us today. All right, we had some questions here. Okay, so let's go ahead and start going through them. I don't know if you guys want to take some of them, or if I don't know. We can team this. I don't know if you guys have been answering questions or not. So Kim asks if there's a way to preview what a page looks like on each of those devices. You can shrink your screen if you're on a desktop and kind of play around with that. The best way to do it is actually on an actual device. So do it on your desktop, do it on a computer. If you're on a phone, turn it to landscape, just kind of play around with it. But definitely you want to try it on those devices if you want the most accurate tell of how it will look. Holly. Okay, I'm working on my website homepage. I'm using custom template that I got as a bundle. When I delete the sections that I won't be using at the moment, I can never get them back over to my actual finished project, like a copy and paste type thing. I'm not going to use all of them at first. Okay, so what you want to do, and I think I've shown this before. Let me show real quick here. The cheat code to using getting a template from someone and you're not going to use all of it yet, and you just don't want it to be. Let me go back to our dashboard here. You don't want it to be visible. What you're going to want to do in your settings here is, and I'm still in your account, Kim. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the section that we don't want to show up. So let's just say, for instance, I'm not ready. These buttons aren't ready yet, but I want to be using this page otherwise. go to your section background editor and go down to where it says section is visible on. Are you guys seeing this? Is this okay? Cool. Thank you. Zoom isn't telling me what it's showing. And then uncheck all of these. Uncheck all of these and it will not show on anything. And so it is effectively hidden. So instead of deleting a section that you don't want, that you know you'll want later, just uncheck. And then of course, if you need to re-import the bundle, then, you know, or re-import that resource from the bundle, you can do that. And then one other thing, importantly, if you have it say in another page, here's a tip. If you're at what premium and above, go to the code view, copy the code, paste the code on a different page. A little bit more advanced, but here's what you do. You go to more miscellaneous. Sorry, we actually, this is not an account where we can do that on. You should see a little brackets code view. It'll pop open all the code, copy all of it. And then on the other page, open a new section, start a new page section. Doesn't matter what it is because you're going to erase whatever the code is that's in there. Just pop one in, replace the code with that, and that'll replicate the section for you.
One other thing, Ashley, that screen you were just on with the different section views, I believe that Greg set that up in a way that you don't actually have to select into the edit background. You can just select those icons. So it shows you right from there, like a bird's eye view, which sections are available on mobile or desktop or laptop or iPad.
I didn't know that. That's so cool. Thank you. Dude. Okay, so yeah, you guys don't even have to scroll through the background editor. You can just say, I only want this on mobile and portrait tablet, or I only want this on desktop and small computers, or it's available on everything. So cool. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Okay, so there was also a thank you both for your guidance on helping me get my custom font installed. Woo, that was a doozy. Also, the video at the bottom of those directions doesn't work, just FYI. Maybe in Olivia, we need to check that. Also, yeah, you guys are the font gods around here. Thank you.
Not me, it's Jessica.
Sorry, Jess, it's all Jess. Jess is the font god around here. Thank you, Jess. All right, Holly, how do you put a photo as a thin banner on website versus color background? Is there a free photo section? So, so if you wanted to have like just a sliver of a photo show up on your site, that may be what you're talking about. What I would do is use that thin header section and then add the picture as the background of it. And then, you know, if it's like a pretty landscape, then make it a parallax background and then it looks really cool, right? I think I showed a couple of examples of that on Tanya's site. She's got several that are thinner and it's got like a little beachy thing and there's some words there. And then her site has like the text holds still, but the image moves. Pretty cool. All right, Holly, can you expand, Ashley, on how to do the backgrounds you're showing on Megan and Jackie's websites in Canva? What templates are those? It really depends. I mean, each of them has like 12 different blog header pictures that were created in Canva. Play around with it, have fun with it. Once you have created a brand kit in Canva, you've already got all of your colors that you want, then all you have to do is just go search for photos and elements that you like. Some of those elements can be copied and pasted next to each other and replicated to make wallpaper. That's what Jackie's stripes were. You know, there was just like, I searched for stripes in elements and then it showed up on the page. I changed the color of it to one of her brand colors and then just copied and pasted, made sure they were in line and stretched it across the whole document, download, and now we've got a stripy background, right? So I know I just blew through that and that was probably like, okay, yeah, of course you do that, but it is worth getting good at, and it can be a lot of fun if you give yourself the space for it. Nature backgrounds are a really great cheat code, and just use that overlay that I showed you guys earlier with the, like, put a white overlay on it and make it just a little more transparent to make the background pop out from underneath it. Okay, how do you make an image like the button, like just get this in? Okay, so I think what you're talking about, Jamie, is like the images that were on the page. Excuse me. So what we did there, and this is going to be really similar. So right here, and this is on Kim's page. So I uploaded an image, say like right here, and then there is this insert link button. So if you hyperlink an image, meaning you insert link and you put where you want it to go right here, then that image is going to function like a button. So that's how you make an image behave like a button. Is there a way to get side-by-side presentation on Zoom like you use for the weekly calls? On Zoom, in the top right corner, if you're a presenter, there is a view button where we can Brady Bunch, which is like what we're doing right here. And then there's speaker view. Oh, we lost Colin just as he was waving. Oh. And then the side-by-side, yeah, that's about as far as I know. Like, I don't feel like I really know that much about Zoom aside from what I do with it all the time. So if you guys have anything to add to that, that's, yeah, same. Okay.
You can make fun backgrounds like this. That's about it.
That's right. All right, where do you actually create a weekly email, not in a campaign? You create it in, yes. So if it is an email, Holly, that you're going to be sending on a regular ongoing basis, please make it in saved replies, because all you have to do is add that to a broadcast. So when you're ready to send an email out to people, let's just pretend it's a newsletter. You do this once a month. So make a newsletter, style it the way that you want it to look, do that in saved replies. Now, when you're ready to send the newsletter, you're going to go to manage your contacts. You're going to filter for the people who've opted into the newsletter or for whoever you want to send it to. And then under actions, you're going to select mail those contacts. And then you just click your, grab the saved reply menu, pull the one that you made and saved replies there, and it's going to show up for you. And then edit it. If it's time to, now it's time for a new one, edit last week's or last month's or whatever, and then send it to those people. And that's it. How do you make the giant you people have? I don't know, Carrie. If you could clarify in the comments, I'm very interested in this question. The giant what? Please let me know if this comes up in the chat, you guys. Oh, Jamie, I know this just because I just opened the chat to see if Carrie is here. Please, you guys, if you have questions, try and make sure we get them into the Q&A so we don't miss you. If you have a separate Zoom account, you don't need to have a separate Zoom account. If you have an account with GetOiling, that's covered. So that's here. And Colin is answering questions in the chat. So thank you, Colin. All right, Carrie, I hope we hear back from you about that question. All right, Peg, what was the name of the website where there was a video at the beginning? It's one where she meets people online. I'd love to check out her site further. Yes, okay, Peg, that is Colette. I'm gonna put her in the chat here. She actually has a Team YL training that she does monthly as well. So she's got an email list I highly recommend that you opt into. That is, I'm putting that in the chat right now. That is ColettePolonone.com. And she has, she's got like it's the 1 minute miracle video, I think in the style, I think Richard Brooke teaches it. And then she's got that video and then the Young Living, the Essential Oils 101 from Grow Workspace as a campaign attached to it. Highly, highly recommend keeping up with what she's doing. All right, Sharon says, yes, I can do that. We'll go as soon as this webinar is over. Appreciate it. Cool. Okay, addicted to Canva now. Yes, I had a call with a client this morning and legit, like, she's a better graphic designer than me. I was like, here's what I want you to do. And she came back, she's like, look what I did. I was like, why? This is great. You want to do mine? It's fun when you get into it. All right, Sandra said, is there a way to hide sections on the GetOiling template pages? Really like the templates, but would like to hide sections we don't need. Unfortunately, the templates, if you mean like the built-in themes, those are not editable. But if you wanted to use what's on them to make a page of your own, you could certainly do that in custom pages and quite simply. I wish I could remember. Oh, what is the name? Do you guys remember that we have a member in Singapore, I think, and they did almost like a replication of our built-in theme. I was like, people and animals and wellness, and I can't, it's doable, basically. Yeah, Awesome. So yeah, that we can't do that in the built-in themes, but you can absolutely, like we showed earlier, hide anything in custom pages. Just click the little phone and iPad and tablet and whatever to where they're all grayed out, and they won't show up on custom pages. Cool. Well, that was fun. I think that was it. And I guess we didn't, oh, here we go. Melanie has one more. Where do I find more information on how to change PDF links on my website into lead magnets so I get their email? Is it as simple as changing the link? So Melanie, okay. Melanie, I'm gonna bring you out to get clarification on this real quick. So I can kind of make sure that we understand each other. Hi, are you here?
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so you have PDFs, like
Yeah.
to give
right
away
now
as lead magnets.
So right now it's just a clickable link on the web page, and then it downloads for them.
Okay.
So I was wondering what would be the smarter way to do that with changing it into a.
Yeah, so you want to create a funnel for it. Real simple. You have two options. You could create a custom page with a pop-up form, or you could go to landing pages. In either instance, my first recommendation is, I mean, of course, on the page, you're going to say, here's what you're going to get when you give me your name and email, right? Like that's the landing page for it. Hey, I have a guide. You want it. Here's what's in it. Here's what you have to do to get it. So you do that. And what I recommend that you do, this isn't what you have to do. It's not the easiest, but it is what I recommend. I recommend you make a very simple thank you, go check your email custom page that every time somebody opts in for anything on your site, you send them to it. It's got your picture. It's like, hey, you got my thing. Check your email. Here's the email address. Like go do that right now because you might not get what you said you wanted. So that's what I recommend you set up. And then in the campaign that you attach to that landing page or custom page, you're going to link the PDF there. Right? So they give you their email, they get the confirmation page, or if you're using a landing page, it could be a confirmation message that pops up and says, hey, go check your email. But then you deliver it in the email campaign that goes out that's attached to that funnel. Your other option, less ideal because you might get bad email addresses and they'll still get what they came for, is to the redirect, right? So after they enter their information, they go here. You could put the address to the PDF that you're linking to off of your site right now there so that they put in their information and then boom, there's the PDF. That's the easiest path, but it's not as effective in terms of actually collecting good contact information. Does that make sense?
I think so. I'll have to look into that more. Thank you.
Okay, absolutely. Good question. Okay. Jen, yes. Raise your hand for me real quick and we can do that real quick before we go. There you are. Hi, Jen. What was your question?
Hi, I have added the website for the Young Living Canadian page, like the basic theme. And somehow I've edited it so that it has my kid's picture and meet me before it goes into what are essential oils, why us. And I would like to take that out and I have no idea how.
Okay. So this is probably a my story and photo thing, right, team? Okay. Well, no, customize my site. Here, I'm in your, I think I'm in your account right now.
Wow, that was amazing.
Okay.
Even know?
So actually I'm gonna hit view and like Jess and Colin, please feel free to chime in. All right, I think this is you.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, yeah. Cool. So on your site, when we view your site, oh, you got a custom homepage.
Yeah. So then click on lifestyle. That's the page it links to that I've labeled it.
I see. Okay.
Those are my hoodlums. And then it scrolls down to, because that was my homepage. So I'm just like in the process of trying to edit it.
Got you. Okay. And so like, So like I was saying earlier, the recommendation to like make, take a compelling story, take this sentence out of here and then ... read more, and then have an about page that has everything. If you want to kind of have a meet you, but not have it detract from the presentation tool you're wanting to use here. And then in terms of changing this photo, team, where do we go to change the photo?
I would just like to take that off. So if you click into like the settings, you can see the lifestyle page. I just want it to be the basic one you have in GetOiling.
Okay. So you see how we went to custom, so on customize my site.
Yeah.
Wait, no, how did I do that? Okay, I went to settings under my site settings, and then I go to custom photos. We're going to delete these, right? Delete, save. Now we should be back to normal. There you
go. Okay. And how did I get those links? Oh, I still have my story in there, but I can go in there and undo my story too. How did I get those links to that specific page?
So they're going to show up on top of any custom or on top of any theme that you use. So you're basically swapping out, right? So it goes into the carousel.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you know how to change the story and photo part, right?
I do, yes.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I'll show you actually a quick example. I think on Colette's, she has a family photo on hers, but I guess it's, actually, she doesn't have one that's listed publicly on her site, but on hers, there's a picture of her and her family, and they're jumping up in a lavender field. But her story and like how she shares incorporates how she used to not really have mobility, right? So if you wanted to use a personal photo that is something that ties into how you're sharing, then using that section with the with those custom images would be really effective. If it's just pictures of your family though, like that's not necessarily as effective.
Okay. You're amazing. Thank you for your help.
All right. We appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Okay. Good call, guys. All right. I think that's it. I think we got all the questions and 5 whole website reviews. Good job, everybody. All right, great. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for Jess and Colin being here. You guys are amazing. And yeah, you guys will be back next week, same time, same place. More training, more reviews. Make sure you are in our Facebook group. We would very much like to do more stuff like this more often in this kind of format. And I think our Facebook group is going to be a nice little home for that. So share what you're doing there, ask for feedback there, tag us there, like show us your work, and let's get more of this done. It's always exciting to see what you guys are making. All right. We will see you next week. Have a good one. Take care, guys.
Bye,
everyone.